Hey guys, welcome back to another video of War Talks. Today I was going to show you guys how to make your own mannequin stands at home. So they're just simple PVC pipe stands that can hold tunics, trousers, and a piece of headgear. And they have room for some shoes at the bottom if you would like to have some. And so I will show you guys everything that you need to make these, and I will give you all the measurements you need. They're very simple to make. They're very easy to make on a budget, and they just go very well with displaying uniforms if you want to have those. So the measurements that I'm going to be making are for a 6-foot tall uniform stand. I would recommend that before you make your stand, you make sure that you measure your uniform so you know exactly what top and bottom you're going to be putting on. So for my Vietnamese uniform, I made it a bit smaller because it was shorter. This is going to be for a 6-foot tall G48 size East German uniform. And so these are going to be all the things that you need to make them. Most of these are pretty basic, but I'm using 1-inch pipe. You're going to need, of course, a tape measure, pipe cutter, Sharpie for marking. I would recommend just using some flat black spray paint for it, or whatever color you want to use. You're going to need 5 T-posts. You're going to need 6 90-degree angles, and then you're going to need 1 cap. I also have 20 foot of pipe for this. That's what you're going to need for a 6-foot size mannequin. You'll probably have a foot or two left over after it, but let's go ahead and start making it. So starting off, we have the base. So what this will be comprised of is 4 of the 90-degree shoulders, and then 2 of the T-posts. What you're gonna have is these pipes here. You're going to have 4 of these pipes, which are 6 inches. These ones right here are your 6 inches, and these make up your sides and go to your middle posts, which will go up to the legs. Here we have the front and back. Doesn't really matter which direction it is, it's the same on both sides. These pieces will be 12 inches though, and you will make this base. The next pieces that you're going to cut are your legs, torso, and head. So your legs are going to be 40.5 inches each. You're then going to have T-posts here at the end of the legs. You're going to have a 12-inch piece in the middle. Then you're going to have 2 18-inch pieces that go up to 90-degree angles, that then go to 2 6-inch pieces right there and there, another T-post, and in the center you will have a 7.5-inch piece going up to the cap, making your neck and head. And then all this will plug down here in the leg posts down to the base post. And if you're wondering, with 20 feet of pipe, this is all that I had left. This is all that I have left with that. So if you need a little bit extra, you should have some. And now you can just go ahead and put it together. So after you put your stuff together, you should get something that looks like this. So I don't glue these or anything. These should hold together very well on their own. It doesn't need to be exact, but once again, just do measure before you do everything, and do take into account that when you push the PVC together, there will be some in here. So that's why some of the measurements might look a bit weird when you're putting them together. And you can see there's a bit of a shoulder difference between these two. I wanted to make these a bit more broad on this one. So these are 6-inch pipes. If you do want it just a straight down line, I would use 5-inch pipes right here. And so if you do paint these, just use something like this. I'm just using some Rust-Oleum flat paint. This seems to work pretty well for these. I've used cheaper paint before, but I just choose to use a flat black paint on these to not take away from anything on the uniform, because the white of the bare PVC and the text does take away from it a little bit. So I'd recommend just painting it up if you want to. But they hold a decent amount of weight, and the base keeps them nice and solid on the ground. So hopefully this helps you with your collection and displaying your uniforms. So now that your uniform stand is done, you can go ahead and put on whatever uniform you decide to. The best way to go about this is by removing the base. sliding the trousers on, putting the base back on, and then going ahead, sliding the tunic over top, and then adding whatever additional headgear you want. Sometimes you may need to adjust the sizing of the holes down here and actually measure it and cut differently depending on what trousers you have, as if they do not hold tightly, the best way to go about this is by making sure that the poles go to both edges of the waistband and then making sure that it holds tightly. And if you can slide it over the T-posts, those T-posts will hold it on there nice and tightly. And then for anything else, the post is very good, and you can just see you can add a little bit padding to anything that you need to put on there, and it'll hold any headgear very nicely. Hopefully this helps you in making your new stands.